Hello everybody, welcome back as ever to Building Blocks. We program Minecraft mods live on camera and watch as they inevitably detonate. Tonight we're going to be working again on the species system, this time starting off with the actual species screen. First off, I've got a little bit to show you, so let's go take a look at that, shall we? So let me see, last time we were trying to get our species into the actual data, to then read them back in, and there were some flaws with how I was going about that, and we were doing it... Do you mind? A little busy. There were some flaws with how we were doing that meant that we couldn't actually get them to, like, work, related to how registries are done in Forge and whatnot, so... But... now, if I actually have a look at our species list... we got everything, and we can actually just like search through and see all them. So like, just let's see, lizard folk. How about them? Humanoid, reptile, natural armor +5, hold breath ability. Very nice, very nice. And we can also click onto Archfey. So yeah, if that looks at all familiar, then surprise. Actually, there's a few there I have to add onto my CBH character. I need to remember that. But we have had the ability to paralyze people. That has been, unfortunately, around since the last version. So I can do this, for instance. Quite happy. Yeah, Pride, do 20 squats. Oh boy. Well, give me a hot second here. But another thing I've been working on is the dazed status, which is similar but distinct enough that it deserves its own thing. So, if I hit this, I can't move. I can't break anything, I can't even hit the same button again. But now I have birds just sort of hovering around my head until that gives off. So, yeah. Last time, we also had the light sensitivity ability, so let's have a look at that real quick. There you are. So with that, we get that kind of creep in, and it goes away if we actually stand under here, which is nice. I do love how gradual it is. It's lovely. That also corresponds with a reduction in your damage that you can deal, so it's not like a huge vulnerability, but it's a thing that you notice at the very least. Let's just remove that for now. But yeah, there is a limitation currently with how the burps work, which is you can see them floating around my head, but if I was to apply them to the husk over to my side there, you wouldn't see them on his head. The layer is present on every single bipedal mob, but doesn't actually render on them, and that's because active potion effects aren't actually synchronized across clients and such, so we know what the color is of the particles, but we don't know exactly what their exact makeup is. We just have the color, and I suspect we could solve that relatively trivially, just by sending a packet and then sending a second packet when it starts and ends. But that is not what we're getting up to tonight. Probably. We might do that later, but yeah. But yeah, the dazed status effect is similar to the paralysis in that you can't do much of anything. You can still access your inventory. You can do that, but you can't, like, right-click on things, left-click on things, you can't move, you can still look around. I decided to go with that over just having a second paralysis screen, because it felt like these are distinct enough that they should be handled differently. So paralysis, you can't do anything, because you can't move. Whereas dazed, you can move, but it's not really a useful kind of motion. That kind of thing. Like, one is you're locked inside of your head, the other is you've just been hit in the back of your head. Like, I'm trying to address these things in distinct manners that make them feel a little more immersive, even if paralysis does necessitate that I bump you to a menu screen. But anyways, what we are doing today is creating a GUI. Very much in the vein of the Origins mod. It's kind of hard to avoid that. And we're going to be using that particular GUI to cycle through the available species that are marked as can players select, and then to select one. And if the game rule or whatnot on the server is set to true to share the screen whenever a player first logs in, then we can do that. For that, I think the first thing we want to do is go to living data and ask if we've actually selected a species. Just have that in there real quick. And if they're not a player entity, we can just default that to true, so that's fine. I will get to the squats in 1 second. Okay. Okay, so if they are a player entity, else this.selected species equals true, one way or the other. Otherwise, we check the world, see if it's got the game rule set, and then do the thing. Right. Y'all wanted squats, didn't you? Or rather, Dusty wanted squats, so yeah, here we go. Yep. By the way, happy Pride Month, everybody. If you didn't know, June happens to be Pride Month across the world, so this is the month when all of the big Pride parades would usually be happening. Obviously attempt to do so safely as possible. Delta variant is rising quite rapidly over here in the UK. And we still have idiots today saying that there's no problem because nobody died today specifically. Oy. But also it happens to be my birthday month. So, yay for that. I will be older in about 2 weeks. On the 14th. Anyways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There we go. Hope you enjoyed that. There is a poll on my Twitter that I think has just a couple more hours left in it for whether I do a full-blown kind of like bikini stream for my birthday. Both in honor of my birthday and of Pride Month, because Lord knows I'm not going to a Pride Parade this year. Okay, so now I have a boolean inside of the data that asks, have we chosen a species when we logged in? So, set our custom types and then get the world. World game rules. Get boolean. Right, for now we'll just assume it's true. We'll add the game rule in a hot second. When's the birthday? 14th. So let's see. Open species screen. Screen sets. Boolean when closed. And we can also add something to our species command to say choose or select, that kind of thing. So that when we want to, we can just say, this person, I want them to open their screen. Okay. Obviously, we're also going to need an actual screen. So we have screen paralyzed and screen ability menu right now. They're fairly straightforward. Well, I say that, they're actually quite complicated, especially in the case of ability menu, but we can work on this. So screen, species, select. I was about to say, or we can call it the... but then calling it the SSS would maybe not be the best of ideas. Meanwhile... Nearly same birthday? Oh, really? Congrats. Okay, just do that real quick. I want this to be public as well so we can see it later. Okay. And let me see. There's a few things in here. Should close and escape. We want that to be true. Is pause screen? No. It's not a huge problem, I think, if it does pause, but it won't have an effect in multiplayer, so we might as well just have it be equal across the board. And then... Okay, let's start by just giving our player resistance. So it'll be this dot entity, or just entity, I guess. Hey, Booked. How you doing? Okay, so if that, then yes to effect instance. Booked, have you been doing crimes again? There you are. What is this one? It's ambient then, I think? Yeah, ambient then show particles. There. Just trying to make it so that we get given, so that the player gets given resistance 15 or something, until they actually select a species, or choose not to, either way. Yeah, we want to entity and entity dot get active. My brain's a little befuddled at the moment, just because of how warm it is over here at the moment. Okay. So if I log in now, it should default to knowing that my selected species hasn't been chosen, and it should give me resistance 15. But also, yes, squats are on the same timer, but they're now drastically cheaper. So, more people can get in the fun of making me exercise. Lying in the origin of species. Turns out it is a choice. Turns out, being scaled or having, like, feathers is completely a choice. I do not appear to have any effects. Oh, interesting. Okay, what's causing that, I wonder? Probably the is remote parts, I'd guess. It's not necessarily a case that the player on the client side needs to know, but eh. It is 20 squats per redemption, hence why the redemption is called 20 squats. Because it's a bright sunny day and I'm sat programming inside. Might as well do some exercise, I guess. Okay, now do we get the thing? Still no. That's very curious. It should be running? Oh, it's because it's in the not initialized part and we've already been initialized. Of course! It's me being a dingus. That's the cause. No, that part's fine. This is the part I need to move. I think I get a stream elements plugins make a tiny explosion every time I think that's just called having beans for lunch. Okay, now we should get it. Could we convince you to make explosion noises with your mouth when you do squats? No. There we go. Okay. Continually getting that for a minute, until such time as I actually set the thing. Okay. Instead of I'll buy your silence, it's I'll buy your explosion noises. Oh boy. Okay. We need, I believe, to send a packet to our player. Actually, do we need to send a packet, or do we just need to check if it's wear mode? Not even for 40 bucks. Ask me after I have to buy meds this month. We'll see. Okay, so if we haven't selected a species, we do probably need to do this up here. think. But we also probably need this check as well. You can maybe do 800 squats? Over time, gradually, yes, probably. We do need to send a packet. Because it used to be you could open these screens purely by just the player, but I think now we actually have to say it from the actual Minecraft instance. So, okay. New. Not a difficult thing, shouldn't have a whole ton of data to it, and only has to go to the client. So we don't need any data in it. I should remove the timer? No! Okay, so screen species select. GUIs are always such great work. There. Okay. That should all be fine, but I will plug it in here and then I'll boot it on the server just to be on the safe side. Okay. Run server. So currently, we've got this. We've got a system that provides us with resistance 15 until we select a species. Now we're trying to actually get the same thing to try and open a screen for us. Yep, called it. It had problem. It had trouble with that. Okay, right. How do I want to go about this then? Well, there is one thing that server does not... that the server doesn't mind that can be done in both ways here, so... Species select. Okay. Player entity is the next thing we need. What's your problem? Ah. There we go. One more over that gets handled, and now it should be able to be on the server just fine. But now, the only side that's actually doing anything that requires the surprisingly client-side only Minecraft class is the actual client. Thirsty today, it seems. Hey! And there we have it. All happily loaded. Very good, very good. I never know how to read that. I probably should figure out what it means and if I'm just doing something utterly horrific to the server. I probably am, to be honest. But in fairness, it takes a fair bit to turn Minecraft into an RPG. Now here's a question. Should you have resistance 15 as long as that screen is open, or should you only have it the first time when you're logging in? There's a question. Okay, I can still move around, which means that screen has not opened. So... oh, did I not tell the... of course, I didn't tell Living Data to actually send it yet. That's why. Oh, right, yeah, we don't need that part. So now, if I log in, I should see a normal screen, except that I can't actually do anything, because I'm in a screen that's just not rendering anything. In about 10 minutes, someone better remind me I'm sitting on my legs. It's the unfortunate... It's the unfortunate paradox. I want to sit on my legs and whatnot because it's like pressure stimmy, but it also cuts off the circulation and gives you pins and needles. Humans were not designed very well. Nope. Oh. That's interesting. Huh. Oh, that's odd as hell. Huh. Okay. I can move my camera around, but I can't do anything else. It's like I've been dazed a little bit. Hang on, do I have... No, I have no keyboard control. Huh. Fascinating. Oh, and then it crashed. Okay, what was happening? Part of the key event, okay. I bet I know what that is, but ooh, interesting. Okay, so client proxy. So let's see, I need screen. So if current does not, well, current instance of screen species select there. That was probably what was happening. It was just like constantly doing that. We can also have living data like wait a couple of seconds. Do I have a ticker in here? Some kind of incrementing thing? Not really. Could use ticks alive, I guess, but... Okay, well, let's just see if at least we've fixed that problem. That's very strange, though. I've never known it to do that. I've never known it to stop the keyboard inputs, but not the mouse. I've never been able to look around whilst ostensibly in a menu. That's very curious. Not to be confused with an overlay, which is effectively moving around whilst in a menu. Okay. And new crash. Very curious indeed. Okay, well, we'll get to that in a hot second, because I got more squats to do. Okay. 20 more to the top, which I think is about 8. Will be about 80 that I haven't added to the current total, but yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, too fast for you, Dave. In the words of a very well-known blue hedgehog, Your velocity leaves much to be desired. Okay, so... when it's closed, we need to tell the player's living data that we've actually selected a thing, as well as send a packet to the server to say that also we selected the thing. This one actually does need some information. Okay, so we need to get the server in order to retrieve the player by their UUID. We gotta get it from like the actual world. Weird that worlds can get players by their UID, but the server itself can't. Everyone else actually reading all this code knowing damn well their computer illiterate little brain can't actually understand any of it, or is that a me thing? That's most of my audience, I think. No offense to them. But that is probably most of my audience. There we are. Okay, and need a quick little avoid function. That just does that. There. And we just need to add that to our handler. And when this screen gets closed, we just want to send that to the server. Pretty sure that's the name of that, but let's find out. Seems like it is. Yep, good. MDM. And now, in our command, we can just say, send the open packet, essentially. Here's a website site. Oh, good luck. I'm terrible. I'm terrible with HTML and the like. I'm terrible with most things, to be honest. I am not a very, like, adaptable coder. Hey, Moritz. How you doing? Do I have an invalid speech exception? Okay. So now if it sets that, we can just actually open it by ourselves. There is a contemplation, though, as to why is it crashing at all. Probably it's because we're constantly opening it and not actually telling it to stop. But... Or it could just be that we're lacking a vital piece of, like, key handling, possibly. Paralysis seems to handle it just fine. Let's see, our client proxy. If Minecraft instance current screen equals null. Was there something else potion paralysis are doing in there? Ah, display. That could be it. That could be where I'm going hacking wrong. The weekend, did you steal theirs but put a spell on them? technically neither of those. If anything, I lifted an enchantment. It's causing them such bother. Okay, there's my mouse. Good. And I'm guessing that escape to pull, like, escape will close it is an optional thing because clicking it is doing nothing for me. But okay, this is, despite the appearances, progress. It's not crashing, that's good. Oh, apparently that's true. Interesting. We'll just put it in there anyways. Just to be on the safe side. Anyways, my sticks. I'll be back in about 10 minutes. See you then. Go grab yourself a drink. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a nice little break there. Ow. So before we left off there, we successfully managed to get a screen to open when we log in that will eventually show us what we're looking for with regards to choosing a species. Now we need to actually render and draw stuff, so that's the next part. So there should be a thing in here to draw things. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Just borrowing from my own code for the most part here. Okay, we don't need to show the duration for this, so that's fine. Okay. So now we should be able to see something. And I will mark that job as complete as well. It's starting to really feel like I should get a phone monitor. But there's a lot of things I should get, like a new chair and new graphics cards that don't just randomly conk out and crash the whole machine. But also I have to get a haircut, and also I have drugs to pay for. That last one kind of is the main stalling point on a lot of things. 6 monitors like Batman? Oh lord, that'd be lovely. Be kind of hard to weave this microphone in between it though. Okay, there we go. Grand and good. Grand and good. Now if I log back in, well, let's show something else. No. Very good indeed. But if I run species select, I guess I can't. I guess I am missing a variable there. Okay, good, fine by me. The dream is a setup that's so absurd you could launch a missile from it and make it play Caramel Dance, but also have someone give you literally all the equipment. Oh god. Yep. Yep. I mean, in fairness, for the most part, that is most of my equipment. I guess, but I guess that depends on, like, where do you draw the line between a gift and conducting commerce? Because most people give me money for services and whatnot, i.e. these streams. Like, if their goal is to give me money so that I have the hardware and whatnot to continue doing the streams, is it a gift, or am I just using the money according to what my customer base is, like, desiring? Who knows? Certainly not me. Okay. Species. Select. Dev. There was a problem here. Okay. What was the problem? I'm guessing the part where it doesn't actually execute anything. People ask, like, I have actually had Forge devs ask me, why do I break things up like this? Why do I make all of these different sub-functions and such? Why do I make the different classes? The answer is because it is really hard to tell at a glance what connects to what, based purely on the number of brackets. Like, come on, what am I supposed to know there? That feel when you can read code and there's comments and spacing. Oh, love it. Like, I'm the only dev on this, but I also have a terrible memory, so comments are helpful. Comments, usefully worded variables, just like, oh. It's practically Programmer 101, and you'd think people had never learned it. Nope. Perfect. Okay, good. We now have constant access to this screen, should we use a particular command for it. Hurrah! Now, coworkers coding has no comments. Oh no. Please tell me they don't have variables that are like float, F, double, D, boolean, bool. Please tell me they actually have meaningful names, so you know what the hell they're supposed to mean. But okay, so that part's done. Probably close that out, and definitely that. And now we have to actually render and add things. So, we know that we're already rendering the title. Let's actually add a translation for that. Yep, that's what I called it. Good. And we want 2 buttons, one either side, that we can use to cycle through the species that we actually have available. So let's see. More squats. Okay, right, well, I guess I'll talk through what we want with that. So, we need to get the array of all of the species from the species registry, pile that down to all the species that have player selectable set to true, and then we need to have our buttons be able to cycle through an index number to correctly select between those different ones, as well as a actually select button, I guess. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now, we do also have to pay attention to the fact that you may have been assigned custom creature types when this screen is opened. In which case, we have to make sure that there is a button that says, like, just like a little tick box that asks, do you want to keep your custom types? Because otherwise, you might lose those, and you may not want to lose those. But they will also override your species. So if you're choosing a species and you want them to work properly, then you probably want to get rid of your custom types. Client gets no code done. I mean, maybe not if I was like when I started doing the squads. Okay, let's make our list of buttons then. So we want a increment button, decrement button, a select button, and keep custom types tick box. I don't think we need that. But clearing buttons is probably also smart. Okay. So then... let's see, species registry. Actually, spear registries. Is it not letting me? Oh, resource location to species, that's why. This is a... this is a map, that's why. Trying to remember, how is it stored? How do I want this to work? Do I want it to be a map? Or do I want it to be a list? Lists are easier to iterate through. Whereas maps don't really have an index, so to speak. Not a numeric one anyways. I could just have just have this be a list of species and resource locations. Yeah. Except they don't like that. Ah, that's what. Tuple. Or pair, I guess it's called these days. Used to be called a tuple, which is a perfectly fine term in computing, but apparently it's not allowed here. That one, I think. Okay, if species is player selectable, then selectables dot add pair of name species. There. Okay. So now with our index, we can actually display something. In which case, we'll retrieve our current species, or at least our current pair. Oh yeah, we can get the registry stream just from the species. I forgot about that part. Well, it's currently handy to have that anyways. Okay. The first most obvious thing we need to display is the name of the species. So I'm gonna add a quick little thing in here. couple of buttons real quick. These will not be in anything approaching their correct positions, but at least they'll be there. There's a lot of trial and error that comes into this right now. Let's see, what kind of values do you take? Actions and heights and all sorts, okay. Right, buttons are actually programmed in their instantiation now, which is weird, but okay. Just get a quick example of that being done. Yep, there we go. Oy. But it doesn't know about this index. So I can't just tell it about that. Or maybe I can. Okay, fine by me. Graphics is not my graphic design is not my passion. Okay. So now it should display a name, and it should have two buttons that we can click. Which should at least mean that we can cycle through the names of our species here. And apparently there are two. Be a lizard folk or a necropolitan. Okay, let's have this actually display what it thinks the current index is while we're right at it. I could probably do with having that checking in here. Really. Sure that can be done, I'm just not entirely certain if I got the pluses on the right side. Let's have this actually print out the index while we're at it. Hardy har, Aluka. You seem nonplussed about it. Yes, very clever. Okay, that'll tell us what the number actually is. Do not expect this screen to look utterly gorgeous by the end of today. It absolutely will not. But we can at least get it to the functional state. Never expect anything made on camera in the span of about 3 hours to look good. Okay, yeah, we've introduced bugs, is what we've just done. Okay. So we couldn't go up at all, so I'm presuming that's just on the wrong side. And we also couldn't go... also going down crashed the game, because I'm guessing when it says size, it's not the actual, like, highest index, because indices start at 0. But if you have one thing inside of a particular list, it'll have an index of 0, and it will still have a size of 1. So if you use the size as the index, you go into an out-of-bounds error. I kinda saw that one coming, to be clear, but that is a rookie mistake. But then, it tends to be the rookie mistakes that people deal with most of their lives anyway, so don't worry about it. Interesting. It still thinks it's only 2. But we can still go between them, so hey, there's that. Hang on, is it actually just that there's only 2 that are marked as being player selectable? Is that actually the correct loadout that should be there? Gender binary, are you a lizard folk or a necropolitan? Well, if this is doing that right there, then we don't need it here, do we? Dusty's very clearly a lizard. Okay, well, we got that part working. Let me have a look through what's in here and find out exactly which ones are selectable. Ah, yep. That is it. There are 5, but there's only 2 that are actually player selectable. Which is good to know, but it's not quite helpful for testing, so let's just change these. We'll add skeleton, we'll add zombie, and you know what, we'll even add archfey. Okay, looking a little better. Zombie, archfey, lizardfolk, skeleton, necropolitan, and back. Perfect. We can go whichever way we like. And we also don't need the index being drawn now. But okay. So, in our species command, we do have an info. And more or less everything that it displays is what we want to be able to see on the screen before we pick our species. So, we'll just use this as our guide, shall we? So, we need to display types. And we need to display abilities. Let's just have a quick look and see how that does, but first, let's see, int y plus equals, we'll see 80 for ability in current species dot abilities. What have I done wrong there? Yeah, that should be fine as far as I can tell. Oh, have I misspelled it? Yes, I have. There we go. There. Okay, that should give us a bunch of information. It's progress. Though evidently there's a problem with how some of these are actually translating that I need to check on, but yeah. Okay, zombie, undead, natural armor +2, damage reduction free, overcome by nothing. Archfey, Fey, holy, natural armor +5, damage reduction 10, overcome by silver. All the good stuff that is handy to know. Grand and good. So that is further progress. Now I would like to have it actually display the ability names alongside their icons, so you can tell which is a defense, which is a weakness, which is a utility ability, that kind of thing. Ideally also with like some handling so that really long ability names actually scroll a bit. I'm also gonna put that on my to-do to fix the opening a new ticket. Where's like I need like a button I can just punch here, just so I can actually. There. Okay. I think the screen needs to be wider, just sort of in general, but that is good. Hey, Cam.
A new challenger approaches.
Hello. Okay. Obviously, not looking great. I'm gonna be doing that so much tonight, but not looking great, but we just threw it together in like 20 minutes, so. This didn't exist an hour and 3/4 ago. It looking great is fine. So now we need a select button and a tick box to say you have custom creature types. Would you like to keep them if we choose this? Because otherwise the behavior will be that we erase them so that they don't cause any trouble. So let's add another button. Let's see, 40, 20, new string text component. Obviously, later on, these will actually be translated rather than just being rote strings. But here we are. So let's see, it'll be Minecraft, get instance. Used to be get Minecraft, but bleh. Nope. Do we use display then? Okay. And that's basically just a fancy exit button, but should be fine. Nope, more squats. Okay. 1 second. So being able to do this from a command as well as like when you initially enter means you can later on change your species, assuming you have access to commands, or something else. Some kind of item or effect that might allow you to choose your species again. Oh, that's the wrong direction. For the rendering. Partially, okay. Well, that's fine, we got the select part, which is the part I was looking for. Okay. That was on lizard folk. Yep, selected species lizard folk. Good. Okay, right. "20 squats. Here we go. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Not gonna lie, those are getting harder. Slowly but surely, those are getting harder. And maybe not that slowly.
A new challenger approaches.
Hello. Okay. Mr. Plus, right there, so it was putting them way up. Also, I need to modify the mid-X just a smidge so it's actually centered. And let's put that lower as well. That should look tight here now. I said we can't do chug anymore. I'm not. Doing the squats is one thing, but you know I actually need refreshment whilst I'm talking for 3 hours on camera under studio lights. But yeah, Luca, what they used to do before there was a cooldown on the hydrate command was they would spam hydrate, so I had to chug my entire drink. It was not great. Okay, that's tidier. Ish. Obviously, we still need to tweak the positioning a little bit on some things, but yeah, that's good, that's good. I probably want to put some spacing in between these as well. Say minus 70? No, average progress does want to be about 60. And that time selected Archfey. Good. Language in my stream, Aluka. Okay, let's quickly try and sort the problem with that status effect ability. Okay, the map name is one thing. The translated name should be this. Is that not what I'm... Oh, and I'm getting the display name. I think. Is that the correct thing I should be getting? Has custom name, then that always translated name. Okay. Should I not just be able to get the potion? One would think. Oh, I know what's happening. That is a misnamed function. Nothing calls it because it's the wrong thing. Whereas now... There we go. Okay. That's why that's being weird. Probably. Let's find out. But yes, there are many youngins in my chats. And this isn't exactly R18 kind of entertainment here. As adult and mature as this might seem. So, try to keep the language family friendly. As foul-mouthed as some of the youngins in my fandom might be. Okay, so we should see the abilities start reading further from the left, and the ones with potion effects should actually read properly. Bingo! Much better, much better. Okay. So, with especially long ones, we probably want to, what's the phrase here? We probably want to make sure that we, either do something like scrolling, like up here, or that we, just like, what's the phrase here? Wrap it a bit. That might make it a little harder to read until we actually get, like, the icons on the side. So let's get the icons on the side, I guess. And I can remove that from my to-do list. Hooray! Okay. So, we want to make that more like 45. So let's see, text components, ability name. We'll call it that. Okay, so that just gets me a list of text properties that I can then print on. Yep, good, okay. Text properties, that's the one. Okay. Now, really long ones should actually be truncated a bit. Oh yes, somebody asked me if I would be adding more cosmetic items to various equipment, because we already have horns, about 4 different kinds of horns. My response to that was that I probably will, but I'll probably also add special curio slots specific to them. So if you have an item that is a curio, like cosmetic item, that is meant to stick with you beyond death and such like the horns are, then there'll probably just be curio slots specific to those. That way you don't actually have to, like, have a, like an amulet slot curio cosmetic and then have to go without ever using another amulet in the entirety of your game. Just makes it a bit easier. Okay. Probably need to increase how far it goes across, but that's progress. Especially right there. Criminy. But good. It's staying tighter. The hero economy is real. Yeah. It's also just like, if it's literally a thing that does absolutely nothing, it is purely visual, then it shouldn't take up the same space as your functional things. I don't know how wide that is, but I guess we'll find out. Like, no dragon was ever unable to wear some kind of like crown because of their horns. There are always like ways around that. Also, fun fact, most magic items in Dungeons & Dragons are automatically resizing. How does this interact with UI scale? Most of it should be fine. But I guess we'll find out. Right now it's hard fixed, but I guess I can also just use the number of pixels in between 2 points. Yeah. That's better. Yeah, no trouble there. Okay, I think move this button lower. Move these wider apart, since this is basically your entire screen right now, anyways. And then we can significantly increase the potential width there. So let's see, buttons, they were. Can I afford to double that? Let's see, there's the middle of my screen. Probably not, let's make that 60. And let's move that. Wait, nope, that's the right. That is actually the correct place they should be. But these want to be higher. Yeah, that should do. And we'll see how that works in about 10 minutes. See you after my break. Welcome back, everybody, to the final hour of our evening. So, we have managed to throw together a UI screen that pops up on your first login. We'll test that again in a moment, just to be sure. As well as can be opened via command, should you happen to require it. And it shows quite the handy-dandy volume of stuff, so I think I do need to increase this a little bit now, because I think this width does allow for quite a bit. But the next thing I think we need is the little pop-up thing that says, hey, you've got custom types set, so if you would like to keep those, then tick this. There's a question. Should keeping your custom types be opt-in or opt-out? My money is on opt-in. Because some species may not work right if, for instance, you happen to have types that they weren't designed for. That kind of thing. So, for instance, hold breath is kind of irrelevant if you're a construct. Or such. Dave says opt-in. Yeah, I'm tempted for that. Unnatural resilience is also worthless if you're not an undead or a construct. Something that doesn't regain health naturally. And yeah, so that is looking good though. There will be an actual proper background and such, but for right now, it's fine. Okay. So we need one more button. So add button, new button. Is a necropulse a type of undead with 3 distinct flavors? That joke has been made abundantly. Technically it's a template, but it's a template that is so lukewarm that it is... I'm just keeping it as an actual species here. Let's see, let's make that 10. Get y plus 80. 20 by 20. New string text component. Keep types. I'll keep custom types, I guess. Realized that it's 2nd or 1st of June Pride. Isn't there a Pride happening on one of my test words? Oh right, yes, that will mean that the kobolds should have their Pride flags out. Yeah. We'll go visit them. So I'll say keep types equals not keep types. Okay, and then when the select button is clicked, we will check, okay, is that doing anything? In which case, other things. And then we can send a packet over to the server. But let's add something in the rendering to show us exactly what that's currently set to. We also probably do want to save this button so that we can turn it off if you don't actually have any custom types. Okay, so I'm trying to think how we want to do this. don't have custom types, that button shouldn't show up. Because otherwise it'd be irrelevant. For the most part, the only people that have custom types when they first log in are my patrons and me. But theoretically, if you get access to this screen later on in gameplay, you can have it. So. Sue keeps daring me to ask you to put me as a default undead. Oof. Okay, we got something down there. Cool. Cool. Actually, what am I defined as currently? Out of curiosity. Fae. Okay, that makes a degree of sense, I guess. Okay. So now, we're no longer there, because we don't have custom types. So we have nothing that we could keep. Grand and good. Grand and good. Let's use 4 overcome by silver as our actual, our actual metric. Let me see, how far apart are these buttons? About 240. So let's say 200. Let's say 200 is our width. I mean, there's nothing stopping you from, like, playing as a default undead. That's why it's an option. I'm just currently getting live updates from Fuzz, who has been to the cinema today to see some romance novel anime thing. I don't know. Okay, that's looking good. The next thing we want to try and do is get the icons in. Abilities, different abilities have a type, or a nature, rather. So fast healing is a defense, I think. Dimension Door and Hearthstone are both utilities. And they have different icons that you'll see up here. So we want to try and display those so that you have some notion, even beyond the name, of what they are. But that requires that I get slightly more complex, because... oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, actually, the screen ability menu will be helpful for this. Or is it the GUI handler? Yep, there we go. Draw icon. There's this thing called Blit, and I have not the slightest clue what it means, but it appears to be largely drawing. Hi, if you're new here, I'm god-awful at graphics programming, which is probably why it's taken me about 2 hours and 20 minutes to get this far over UI. that should be all that we need, I think. What lies up in here? Oh, wait, nope, I'm grabbing the wrong thing. I need the type, not the nature. Okay. Does the type have... It has a texture index. Okay, well that's good to know. Oh, they're back. Hooray! Fuzz has survived their trip out into Plague. Okay, let me just grab all of this. Because it's basically what I need anyways. Okay. Icon texture size times, let's see, nature dot texture index. Nature dot texture index modulo 16, I think. Who knows? Blade is distinct from memory copy because it historically had lots of modes like XOR or AND. Industry term from way back when. Uh-huh. Nods like I have the slightest clue what you're talking about. Okay, so now that should be all the code that needs to be in here. Okay, fingers crossed this does not explode. We've got like 36 minutes if it does, but you know, if it does, I'd prefer it didn't. There is a question of what do we do if there are so many abilities that they overflow the screen. Firstly, I would ask exactly how incredibly absurdly powerful is the species that you're trying to select. Secondly, we probably do want to have some handling for that. It's a problem I have foreseen, therefore I should have a solution to it. Okay. Well, that's something resembling progress, that's good. How tall is the height? I'm pretty sure... Icon text needs to be about equal to the font size. Is that equal? That's the texture size, so So what we need to change is... Let's see. Start X and X. So start X and X right there. Right. So the problem is that I've just given it too big a thing there. Okay. Okay, I'm very annoyed. I'm getting... it's astonishing I can hear him from this far away. Come on. Data. Merge. Entity. This guy. Silent. Thank you. God. You'd think the dead would know how to be a bit more peaceful. Okay. So out of curiosity, how much is that? Because we set it at 15. What is it in here? 9. That would explain things a little bit. Okay, so hopefully that puts it at the right spot. The nice thing about these textures is you can scale them quite happily. The less nice thing is actually figuring out how to render them at all. Okay, they're now the right size, so that's good. They're not the right icon, but they are the right size, which is progress. Nyang. Hello there. Hello, everybody. How are we doing? Oh. There's more than me that is programming on Twitch. Wow. Welcome everybody to the last half hour of my stream, but hey! Today we have been making this, which is a UI that you can open up either when you first log in or via command to select a species, which affects you a bunch of different things, but especially abilities that we're currently working on. Now why does this not show anything, but this has 3, and that has all 4? Clearly there is a fault here, related most probably to the fact that I'm not drawing the thing I'm supposed to be drawing. Just doing Hypixel? Ah, okay. Well, thank you very much, Programmer Twitch. Hi, I also hear your email. Which I presume means that the movie meant you had an emotion. I'm sure you'll tell me all about it later.
Yeah, I need to eat and probably conk out.
Well, enjoy sleep and eating. Not necessarily in that order. Okay, let's have a quick poke at our actual resource for that. See how I've laid this out. Let's see, MISC. Nope. GUI, that's where it'll be. Abilities, there we go. Eat while sleep? Maybe not. Yes, everybody who's just popped in, it's a very gay old stream, so apologies if that's not quite what you're expecting, but that also explains... Bleh. Okay, so here's where we're currently pointing. We need to be pointing at these different things. Which means that we can guarantee one thing, which is that our Y index is always going to be 0. Yep, that looks good. Okay. Also, do not grade me on the quality of my pixel arts. I've said it many a time tonight, but my graphic design is not my passion. AI is, oddly enough. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Why am I hearing things? Also, what happened up here? Did I changed the code in the GUI handler? Not the... I'm glad I noticed that. Oh boy. It's getting that kind of a point of the evening, isn't it? Gee, I wonder why the code I changed isn't doing anything. Probably because you changed it in the complete wrong class. You changed it in the class you were referencing. Ay. Also, if I didn't have any activated abilities there, I would have not noticed what was going on. Oof. Okay, so step 1. Do the favorited abilities look right? Yeah, they're fine. Okay. Grand and good. That's a little hard to tell, but that is a weakness. Okay. Looking grand. Looking good. We need to shuffle them across a little bit, I think, but that's good. Now we don't... The complex problem here is there is no way that I can just translate something that says what all of these individual things do. I can kind of do it up here, but not so much down here. Because these things are very heavily customizable. We can change their display names, we can change their volumes, we can change what their exceptions are, their ranges. There's so much to be done with the NPT. So, not really, it's not really feasible to ensure that any given translation is always going to be accurate to what they do. So, for the most part, I guess you just have to kind of hope that all of the names are reasonably explanative. Like, strength, makes sense. Slowness, makes strength. Damage reduction, natural armor. Yep, all that makes sense to me. Also, armor and damage reduction in Minecraft are a lot different to how they are in Dungeons and Dragons, which is what a lot of this is patterned after. Natural armor is itself in Minecraft kind of damage reduction, as in you're always taking damage, but depending on how much armor you have, it may just be reduced to 0. Whereas in Dungeons and Dragons, you have to have a high enough roll on your attack to deal damage, and then that damage is rolled as an entirely separate number. But such is the difference of things in live action versus on a tabletop, I guess. Okay, so let's truncate these a bit more and see if indeed we only get the one icon at the top. So what we should see, which will make it easier to identify what lines of text refer to what ability. So next after this I will need Well, I'll need to actually write the package that does all the things, but that is relatively child's play. On the basis that we already have the bulk of the ability system to do that. Okay, perfect. Good. Yeah, we can see that they are indeed at the top. Good, good, good. So we can see exactly what lines of text refer to what ability now, because we can see where each ability starts and stops. Good, good, good. Let me tidy this up. Now I change one value and the whole thing's moved left and right. Let me see, what else is there to do with this? Besides making it look pretty. I suppose having a display of how powerful it is good. We have that value inside of species. That is there. If we used that, we can display a number of icons relative to that to show, to give a player understandable vision of how powerful something is, even if they have no concept of what the different types or abilities mean. That's why that value is there. It's a little bit like the dots on the origin species lists. Yeah, there we go. Okay, neat and tidy. So where would we put those is the next question. We'd put this directly above that, and then put the stars or whatever on this line. In which case, let's put that there. Shuffle that. Okay, that should be good, I think. Yeah, okay. And then I have to do more blitting and whatnot to figure out how many points to show. Do I have, in the generated ones down here, do we actually have like a marker of species? Power. Power 1, power 10, power 0, power 1, power 0. Okay. Not a very diverse set, but should be fine. If power greater than 0, or does not equal, I guess, because we could have negatives, then render stars of appropriate color for power. Okay. Int mid x equals this dot width over 2. And I'll know exactly where the start x and whatnot it is, so it's just a question of how far to the left do I start. let's see. Start x would equal mid x minus our height, which in this case we're keeping as the font height, times power over 2. And x start y and y. Okay. And then it's the texture values. So we have the start y for this is going to be icon text. Let's put that up here. So let's see. Oh, I need the blit offset as well, which for this case will just be 0. Start y will have that be at 61, I guess? Or 69? For one part of this, at least. And then I guess we want the start x. Which you know, let's be at start y. Let offset, text size spin, text size max. Okay. There you go. Okay. So the texture X minimum should be just 0 to icon text, and then icon text to icon text times 2. Is that not right for some reason? Is it missing an argument? Looks fine to me. Ah, I see. Okay. So then it wants to be 0 to icon text to icon text to icon text times 2, and then it wants the color and the alpha. Ah, I think it's because it's looking for the full ref and not the full matrix. Almost. Okay, let me grab that, that'll be easy to understand. Ay, 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 ay. Let's see. Y position is fine. Okay, and y would be y plus the height again. Lying struggles to get one singular thing to work. Wow. X min. Okay, that must be 0. Text max would be icon text. Y min would be icon text again. Okay. That should draw a star. If I've gotten it right, that should draw a star. One singular star. Ay, ay, ay. I can tell it's late in the night. Okay. Do you know, I miss the days when I was just cautiously and optimistically watching a small dwarf run back and forth between a pair of chests. Those were the days. Okay. So after all of that rigmarole, if this works, there'll be a star on the screen. There we go. It's not quite right, but it's appearing, so that's good. Okay, I do need to make the types move lower, though. Just so they're not interrupting that, and I do also need to lower the star a bit, so it's not also causing trouble. And then we need to color the stars based on whether it's a positive or a negative, as well as show more than one of them. So let's see, that'll be start x plus equals I times the font height, and end x running that same calculation again, which is more or less the same thing. The Y position won't change because they're all in the same row, so then we just need the color. So let's see. These are not particularly meaningful numbers that I'm just dumping in here. They're just enough different for us to know what's going on. Right. That should give us a nice long row. Hopefully. Generally speaking, if a particular species is player selectable, it'll be fairly low on the power like scales of things. So maybe 2 or 3 stars at the most. If they're all positive, anyways. But later on, we will be also working on templates, which are add-ons to your species that you can get that will make you significantly more powerful. I happen to know at least one person in chat is very much excited for the Lich template that gives you the capacity to paralyze people with a touch. That's a pretty high-end one. Yay, okay, stars, good. All of our species are positive, so consequently we don't have any of the other ones, but we are seeing stars, which is good. But okay, I still also need to make that go down. Why is that not going down? Probably because I didn't actually tie Ypos into the readout, I'm guessing. Yep, I did not. There we go. So it was just shunting the abilities further down. Fortunately for me, Dave, I've programmed that to be a random chance and you have to do it with an empty hand. So at the very least, you can't just, like, hit me with an arrow and suddenly I'm paralyzed for 20 minutes. Okay, let's see how we go. You think it works with butterfly effect? I'm not responsible for how, like, other people code their mods. Okay. That's better. Okay, I think I can probably move that back up now, but... grand, we can see the different stars. I need to give them actual color values, but... good. Good, 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 good. Also, that is definitely why Archfey should never be player selectable. But you can choose whatever you like with the commands. So. Okay. Grand and goods. We don't have anything that has a special attack, but it would nonetheless show that. We probably do want to be sorting our abilities list, though, by attack, defense, utility, vulnerability. Like that kind of order. So let's quickly add that. Right up here. Okay, so selectables dot sort. That'll be name species. Actually, that should be pair, shouldn't it? Entry then. Trying to think. Do I even need the resource location? Have we established that I don't need the resource location? We never get it. We never retrieve it, so we don't probably need it. Okay, goodbye tool. Right. So, selectables, sort, new comparator, species. Real quick. Right, no, I'm sorting the complete wrong thing. My mistake. Though that is also something we should have done. Okay, so if it's not empty, then we can sort it. Right. Although sorting by the, like, species name is maybe helpful in some cases, but not hugely. There. Okay. always type it as 0. I don't know why. It's no. I know it's a no. Okay, what are the ordinals of these arranged like? Probably we can just use the texture index. That'll get us most of what we look for anyway. Okay. That should sort them in a manner that we find visually pleasing. We don't have any that have special attacks in them right now, just so that's not going to be showing up at all. So this will mostly be entirely invisible. But you know, that's what happens in devs sometimes. If it's wrong, though, we'll know immediately because weaknesses will be at the top. Which they actually might be. I might have just done this backwards. I can never remember which way comparators are supposed to go. If it's 1, does it go earlier or higher in the index? Oh well. Nope, we're pretty good. Okay. Just look at all that for skeletons. Ugh. Yeah. So it's defense first and then utility. Because that is correctly how they are organized. Hooray. And then the slowness debuff for the zombies is at the bottom. Good. Okay. Yeah, let's reduce the offset of the type part. Shove it up a little bit. And I think we're basically done for the evening. Again, obviously I do have to send a packet that says, hey, set the thing. But that is very easy. We can shoot along a resource location and a boolean, and we're done. Yeah, much better. Okay, Archfey, 10-star species. Oof. Lizard Folk, 1 star. Necropolitan, 1 star. We probably do want to organize these by alphabetical. Looking at it. It's not so much a bad thing, though. We could also probably do sorting them individually as well, so that if their IDs are equal, we'll probably want to also sort them so that their names are alphabetical. But that's getting into the really nitty-gritty. But hey, that's about all I have time for today. Hope you've all enjoyed. Happy Pride Month, and happy birthday to me fairly soon. My next stream should be on Thursday with some Among Us with the World of Madness crew, and then on the Saturday, of course, we have our usual stream with the patrons called Carousel, and we'll be back for more coding on Tuesdays. Meanwhile, keep an eye out for any random bonus streams, especially with the Cumblog Home server on Twitter, at twitter.com/lyinginbed1, and also keep an eye out on youtube.com/RomoComic for any videos I make. Meanwhile, everything I do is powered by you at patreon.com/lying. Hope you've all enjoyed, and I'll catch you all as ever next time. I have to add like 100 I have to add like 100 squats to my listing now, don't I? Welp. Oh well. At least I'm getting fit in time for parades, I guess. Oh wait. Yeah, no parades. Drat.